What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a new what?
Bump it up, son. Coming hot. You're coming in with the. Give me that sauce.
I don't have it. I don't have sauce.
Come on, you got sauce.
Do you want me to start over? You gonna make me do it again?
Start over.
God.
You don't
What's
gotta
going
give
on
me
there?
150, but like, give me like at least like solid 90. 85. 85.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a new episode of Born2BNerd, the podcast.
The podcast.
We are on a bit of a fall theme this season. We're feeling this season. So last episode we talked about kind of video games that we want to play when the weather starts to get a little cool and the soups start to come out
Nice and crisp.
Yeah. What do you ever like? Do you ever want to do like a medieval dinner, like a medieval feast kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. All
like
the time.
Wooden bowls and spoons and stuff.
Yes, with like those like absurd like forks, air quotes, forks things. Yeah.
Big
All the
roaster,
time. Like huge ass knives that you're like just like like stabbing your meat with and just like tearing it off. Yeah.
Just bread and stew, and
you're just like letting the stew like drip off the bread into your beard as you're like chewing it, just like soaking into your beard. You can save some for later.
I always want to do a medieval dinner.
Oh, hey, I just thought of something. If you're coming down this next weekend, I think they're doing Ren Fair this year in November. They're opening it up for 4 weekends in November.
Okay.
I heard that. Let me check that.
Okay.
If you want to.
Yeah.
Because it'd be the weather.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, it's still pretty warm.
Maybe. But maybe.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I was wanting to do the North Carolina one this year, but I don't know if it's still going on.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's through it's either September through October or October through November.
I feel like it goes through November here.
It's like the perfect season, or I remember it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Back when it got cold in the fall.
Yeah, back when it got cold, it was perfect. Yeah. For all the listeners only, if you're not watching the video of the by the way, we're doing video now.
Yes.
Whoa. If you're just listening, you're not watching. We're both. I've got my cardigan. Thanks for noticing. You've got your flannel on. It's fall, baby. Like we're officially in it. I am like
we officially fell back last night.
Oh yeah, today we literally fell back last night.
Yeah,
it's fall. Ooh, it's good. Settle in, folks. Ooh. I'm like sipping on some coffee, some nice hot coffee.
Yeah, last time we talked about some stuff. We talked about like, what video games we tend to want to play, or we talked about how fall makes us get into the high fantasy spirit kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like there was stuff left to be said at the end of it. So I was like, let's keep it going at least for a few more episodes.
Yeah. No, I like it. We didn't really talk about like what we do, you know what I mean, during the fall, like personally. We talked about games and stuff like that. We like to watch. But
yeah, I feel like fall is whenever I typically kind of come to life. I feel like I typically might mentally hibernate during the spring and summer. So, yeah.
Well, you just try to keep as cold as possible because it's so damn hot.
I know. I just stay in the AC.
Yeah, try to stay in the AC. On the docket today, I want to talk about what we do in the fall. We have a little bit of a ranking game that I'd like to do. To see where you rank your fall activities. And I'm curious if you guys want to comment or anything, type, comment on the video or send us in a little, message to let us know what you like to do in your fall time. Like, do you like the campfires? Do you like camping at all? Or do you like staying inside, maybe having a little indoor fire in the
movie
fireplace?
Nights. Are you big into movies
nice
in the fall?
Cozy movie nights. Maybe with some soup. with some freshly baked bread. Oh my god! Anyway, let us
Charcuterie
know.
boards. Is that a fall thing?
Ooh, I mean, I
feel
think
yeah.
charcuterie is
I,
like any time of the year, but you
I
could
know,
do
but
it
I
in
feel
the
like
fall.
don't people typically give like isn't that a big Christmas gift? Is
Oh yeah,
charcuterie
like a whole
boards?
spread.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, like the actual little boards with
Or
like a
like
knife
yeah,
set.
yeah. I feel like
I
with
think.
jams and jellies
Yeah,
and like cheeses and stuff, isn't that something that
I
people
want to
offer
say.
on Christmas?
Yeah, but I want to say Shelby's mom actually gave us like an actual set, like a hosting set.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about what we do during the fall
Hmm.
and what we like about the fall.
Hmm.
But also kind of on topic with High Fantasy Fall, I finished Frieren
Yeah.
literally this morning.
Oh.
Yeah. So like I've been slow rolling it
Hmm.
since we talked last, like maybe an episode a day ish, somewhere in there, every couple days. And then I had like 8 episodes to go, like 2 days ago, and I was like, I want to finish it.
Yeah.
I just want to finish it because it was getting really good and everything. Um, so I ended up staying up till like 11 last night, and I had 2 episodes to go, and I was like, all right, it's perfect. So I can wake up this morning. Shelby had an appointment this morning, so I was like, I can wake up this morning, and while she's doing her appointment, I can watch the last 2 episodes. And I woke up at like 6 o'clock in the morning because it was actually 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I guess I'm up. So I went ahead and watched the last 2 episodes, and it was so good. It was so good.
Nice. I can't wait
But
to
I
hear about it.
also, yeah. I'm excited to watch it again. I literally told Shelby that this morning. Like I
Yeah.
was like, I honest to God, I want to watch it again to watch it with a new lens,
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
and because there's like I think you're right. Like as it goes on, it's like, oh man, like there's so much that I didn't really catch or like didn't see the full scope of it
Yeah.
because I didn't know everything that had happened. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Exactly. Because you're
So
like you're exploring this like journey with her, like
right,
she's realizing all this for the first time.
totally. So I want to talk about that,
Okay.
and I want to start off before we get into all the fall stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know if the listeners have ever read this series called Goodnight Pum Pum, but it's a manga by Iano. Who is it? Inio Asano. Um, he did he did this other one called like Dead. I literally saw it for the first time like yesterday while I was on Crunchyroll. Was the first time that I ever saw it. It's called like Dead, something dead, something. I don't know. But he did this right here. If you can see it, I'm holding it up on the screen. It's called Goodnight Pun Pun.
Looks cute. Nice cover
Dude,
art.
dude, so, dude. So it for the audio only, um, it's the cover of this volume is Pun Pun, the main character, and Pun Pun is drawn as a little bird throughout the whole series.
I I think I just realized what this manga is. Is it about like the like retelling of this boy's experience or something? Isn't it's like a teen boy, right?
Yeah, it's an adolescent boy and his like coming of age.
Yeah. I
Dude,
think I have heard about this. Tell me about it.
dude. Okay, so Pun Pun, his mom and dad, and his uncle are all drawn as birds, and I didn't know why until I think at the end of um the end of the first. I don't know for sure why they're the only ones drawn as birds,
Mhm.
but I think at the end of it of this volume, I think the reason is because they're outsiders. His dad's goes back to America at the end of it,
Mm,
and I think he's mixed white and Japanese.
I see.
I think they don't say that, but
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Um, so he's different than everyone else. I could be totally wrong. I've not done any research on
Hmm.
this because I don't want to get spoiled on it, because I read the first volume of it literally all yesterday. Like we went to Barnes and Nobles, I saw it, and I was like, oh, dude, yes, I'll go ahead and pick it up. And then I read all of it, like all 24 chapters, yesterday, like in one sitting. It's so good. But basically, yeah, it's this the story of the adolescence of this little boy named Pun Pun, and it starts off, his dad is it's pretty graphic. First off, that's what's wild about it and why it hits so hard for me. The story that it tells with the characters and everything that's happens to him, it is very graphic. Like his father is abusive. He's an alcoholic, and he's an abusive alcoholic, like physically and verbally abusive, and to his mom. And it starts off with this incident that happens in the house that leads to his dad being arrested, and he doesn't understand what, because he's a kid, he's like 10, 8, something like that. He doesn't understand what's happening. All he understands is like when he wakes up the next morning, his mom is like on the kitchen floor, and like his dad's there, and they're like, oh, there was shits everywhere. There's like blood or something on the wall from where she was like slammed her head up against the wall or something. And they're like, we had a burglar last night. It's crazy. We had to call the police. We had a burglar.
Yeah.
You know, and then the dad gets taken away. And as the story goes on, like you kind of like, this isn't like this like blaming the victim. That's not what I'm trying to say right now. But what the story does is that it's basically like you feel for his mom, like as you would in any situation like this, right? And then the story progresses, and you realize like his mom also isn't like the best person, right? And like there's this fucked up scene in a cab that I don't want to tell you what it is, because I want you to read it.
Yeah.
But there's this fucked up thing in a cab that happens a little later, and it's like like you're like, oh my god, that like I had to, like it happened, and I had to like what, and I had to turn around and read the past 2 pages, because I was like, oh my god. But then there's like his uncle. Basically, when his dad goes away, his uncle comes to stay with him because his mom is in a hospital for a long time, for like a month or so, and maybe even more.
How much of the story are you going to tell us?
Okay. Anyway, this story is a beautiful like love letter to adolescence.
Yeah.
And I mean, it deals with stuff like not really knowing who your parents are as like human beings and what they're capable of. He has like an imaginary friend as God, that his like uncle. I think his uncle's my favorite character. Yeah. Like his uncle is like that uncle who's just like the genuine good person who's trying to help Pun Pun like through this, but he's also trying to be real with him, but he's also trying not to tell him like things that a kid shouldn't know, like, and it's funny too, like on the back of it, what does it say? Oh, on the back of it, it's like he wants to win a Nobel Peace Prize and save the world. He wants the girl he has a crush on to like him back. He wants to find some porn. That's what he wants, but does he get it? But so yeah, he's with this little group of friends, his little dudes that he runs around with, and they find a porno mag, and it's like typical like kids that find it. They're like, oh my god, and it's funny, like when he first has like his first like morning wood thing, like he says something, oh my god, he says something like, I think I coughed my brains out of my wiener last night. And like he has like the way that they explain it, it's like, yeah, like that's what like you don't know any difference as like a kid, you know what I mean? It's just funny. Some of it is really, really funny, And some of it's like humor like that. Some of it's like dark humor. But there's like that. There's like the childhood first love, that you like the pangs of like feeling that for the first time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so well written. The art it's absolutely beautiful. Like some of it is like snapshots. Like I would be not surprised if they were actually some of the frames that are in this are like someone took a picture with a camera, like a still, and they used that and they drew that. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
how the framing of everything is. That's what it reminds me of. Um, Anybody that hasn't read it, I've only read one volume of it, but my God, it was amazing, and I'm gonna keep reading it. And
Yeah.
anyone who wants like, it's not a light read, it gets heavy, like really heavy, but it's so good. Like it ended, and I was just like, God, you know what I mean? But it makes you feel. And I think we've talked about it on the podcast and just to each other before. Like that's what I love about manga and anime is that like it makes me feel
Yeah.
in a very special way. And I was telling Shelby this today. I was like, especially with like these coming of age stories, I feel like manga and anime, dude, they do it in a way that it hits so many nerves for me.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
I mean, it just rides that vibration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Shelby said something interesting. She said, "Do you think that's because when you discovered anime, you were at that age? You were at that age of like adolescence and that like starting to go through puberty. Like that's where you really found anime." And I was like, "That's an interesting hypothesis."
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. I don't know if it's like it's the chicken before the egg thing. Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
all I do know is that for me it hits so hard.
yeah. Well, I think it's two things. I think one, I'm able to like absorb what I'm watching more because I've been watching anime for so long, I think.
Yeah.
But even apart from that, I think people who haven't seen much anime in their lives, like there are shows or movies that are so cinematically and like beautifully told that um they'll like reach anyone. I
Yeah.
think like for me like Wolf Children
Mm.
is one movie that changed like that. I wouldn't say it changed my life, but it had like insane impact on me because it
Mm.
was so topical to what like I like had never been able to like visualize my life the way I felt like it depicted what I experienced growing up so
Yeah.
well, with
Yeah.
like with the way the kids grew up and stuff. Like it's pretty on par with like what I experienced myself, like with my own identity and stuff. And American show, no American show has ever captured
No.
that the same way.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because Japanese like anime isn't afraid to go there.
I think so too. I think it's like I think with the majority of North American animation, it's geared at kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can have some things like some of the Pixar stuff that at its root it's still a kids movie or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or a kids show. I don't know if Pixar does shows, but kids movie. But there's stuff in there for adults. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Whereas I feel like anime is honestly, it's a lot of it is for adults, but it's told in a way that kids can consume it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If that,
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. Um, I think that I think that Japan does this thing where like they're not afraid to I don't know how to describe it. Like
Well,
they're not afraid to like tell an adult story. I guess
yeah,
maybe.
I would say like if we're talking about Pixar and things like that, like they take their like these extremely symbolic ideas and they kind of weave it into their stories, whether it be Inside Out or whatever, Frozen or anything. They take these symbolic concepts and they kind of weave it into the story to where the kids are going to see this cute story, but the adults are going to be like, oh, that's a great way to explain anxiety or whatever.
Yeah.
But anime, it just shows you anxiety.
Yeah.
It just shows depression. It just shows, these very graphic topics or these very strong situations that young teens or kids go through in their lives that we all have gone through, And I think whenever you just see it like that and you see a character not symbolically going through it, but literally going through it.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, that's how I felt too.
I mean, I think that's one of the things that they do. They do this thing where I think in storytelling in general, I always say show me, don't tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that anime, they do that very well. They show you.
Yeah. They tell you too sometimes.
Well, but that's the difference in a great one and
right.
an okay
and
one.
Dragon Ball Z, yeah.
You son of a bitch. But that's the difference. It's when you're showing someone, show don't tell,
right.
Always. But yeah, it's called Good Night Pun Pun. If you want a really good read, I suggest it for anybody. It is pretty graphic, but like I said, it's fantastic if you haven't read it. On a lighter note, or kind of on a lighter note, I don't know, I finished Frieren.
Yeah, I would say it's a lighter note. I mean, it's like a beautiful story. It's not made to be sad. It's made to be.
It's hopeful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hopeful.
So tell me about it.
So I think I told you a little bit last time. When I first started it, I wasn't for sure. I liked it, but I wasn't like you were super hyped on it and you loved it. The whole internet, was just goated. Mm-hmm. It's past. Or I think it did on my AnyList. It topped Brotherhood. Yeah, Brotherhood.
I did.
As number one of all time. I still don't know if I put it on as number one of all time. I'd have to go. I think that's arbitrary anyway.
It is.
There's no way you can pick one
mm-hmm.
anime as best anime of all time. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But goddamn, if it's not a good choice, I think the big thing with this anime that I loved was that you had this high fantasy adventure, and you had episodes where they're literally just picking out a birthday present.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's slice of life and high fantasy sometimes in the mix of these insane. I mean, insane battle arcs.
Mm-hmm.
At least 2 episode. Maybe 3 episode battle arc sometimes.
Yeah.
And then especially towards the end with the exams,
mm-hmm.
with the first class mage exams.
Yeah.
Dude, that stuff was so good. And some of it, especially that last one, where they fight spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you finish it, we should talk about it. So
okay, it's gonna be a lot of spoilers. So
spoilers for Frieren.
Spoilers for Frieren. Say it one more time. Spoilers for Frieren. The last battle where they're fighting the clone of Frieren, or the copy of Frieren. That was insane.
Yeah, that art is incredible.
Holy shit, dude.
Mm-hmm. And it also shows you how crazy strong Frieren is,
dude. At the end, also because they do the thing where you think it's oh, this is gonna be the plan. This is the plan. It's oh no, this is another diversion. Oh, this is another diversion. And then the end, when she unloads on her and she tears her arms off, and you're damn, Fern, holy shit. And then she just looks at her with no arms and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, just breaks her staff and all that.
Yeah.
And you're oh my God. and then Frieren kills her, because she's Frieren.
Yeah.
But when she's like, what she said, she's like, I haven't used that spell in 80 years or something. I haven't had to use that spell in 80 years or something like that. And you're like, oh, dude. Yeah, it's good, man. I also I think that it did a really good job, kind of fleshing out some characters, side characters, but also leaving a lot of mystery still to be discovered with a lot of them. Not just to be discovered, but I want to discover more of them.
Yeah.
Specifically, one of the characters that I didn't like was what's her name? The girl that's the psychopath.
Oh yeah, I don't remember her name.
Yeah. I didn't like her at first at all because I'm not a big fan of those characters. Those lazy.
It's a perfect depiction.
They're just lazy, the lazy look, unimpressed, unfazed by anything, whatever. It's shut the fuck up, you aloof motherfucker. I don't know. I'm not a fan of those types of characters in general, and but as it went on, I was like, holy shit, the way that she utilizes her battle style and her magic is really, really cool, and it's way different than the other mages. That was another thing. It's they all had their different styles of combat and how they utilize their magic. It was just really, really dope. It was so well done.
And they also managed to humanize each and every one of those characters.
Yeah, all of them. And that's what I'm saying. Even with her, she's, I think, probably the most inhuman. I think she's probably the most inhuman of that class. In that she, I don't know. I think she's kind of like a serial killer. She's closer to being less than.
Yeah.
I think. But even her, it was you get these little glints of oh, there's there's this little hint of she says that what she said, she's in order to learn someone's spell, I need to empathize with them or something. Isn't that what she says? And it's even that, it's there's something. It's not just to learn. I don't think it's just to learn the spell. She legit has to empathize with them.
Yeah.
So there is something
she has to learn
there.
about them. Yeah.
Yeah. There's still something there. But yeah, I dug it. I dug it really hard. And then
it's cool because she shows no emotion almost the whole time, but yet she has to feel.
She has to feel the emotion in order to get the spells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. And I mean, I talked about a little bit before last time, you had all of the constant flashbacks of the old party with Frieren's new party. And then when it goes to the exam, it even continues with her, her new party, her exam party, and it was just, God, it was good, man. There was the one episode that almost brought me to tears when Fern gets sick and they have to bring her to that town, and Frieren's holding her hand, and Stark is like, why are you holding her hand? And she's like, Fern likes it when I do this. It makes her feel safe. And Fern says something I never told you that it makes me feel safe. What are you talking about? And then it flashes back to, Himmel and her, and he's holding her hand. And she's like, why are you doing that? And he's like, my mom used to do it with me, and it made me feel safe, or whatever he says. And it's oh, God. Yeah.
Well, since we talked the last time, you've seen my favorite episodes, so I want your opinions on them.
Okay.
And that's Stark's birthday episode, where you find out about his back past with his brother.
Yeah, that shit was hard.
Yeah.
That shit was sad.
So good, though.
And also, is that the same... That's a different episode. Yeah, that's a different episode than when he goes to they go to that kingdom where the guy basically asked him to replace his son.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's another. I mean, it's like the same storyline, just a couple different episodes apart.
Yeah.
That one was like,
Yeah.
talk
Because you
about
could,
growth. Oh my
right.
god, dude!
Yeah.
Like he was the end scene where he's like he sees himself in the younger son
Mm-hmm.
of the guy of the general or the king or whatever he is,
Yeah.
and he says something super dismissive of him. He's like he said it say he's useless, but he's like he'll never be his brother or something
Yeah.
like that. And he's like, you should pay more attention to him, you know. And
Yeah.
he's oh god, man. But at the end of it, when he's like, I can never replace your son, and then he says, and you can never replace my father.
Yeah.
And I
Or
was
my
like,
brother, yeah.
or yeah, my brother. I was like, oh god.
But
I love
then,
it.
but then you see like how he's like outside playing with his son.
Yeah.
Like clearly, it's like and he's like I'm glad they have a different dynamic than what I experienced.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
It was really, really good, man. It was sweet. It was endearing.
Everyone's favorite episode is Himmel's proposal episode. What'd you think of that? That was good.
Yeah, it was really, really sweet. I mean, I also love. I mean, they never got together officially. You know, Himmel and Frieren or Fern and Stark this season. So it's like it's kind of like that. The April Andy thing. It's the Pam and Jim thing. It's like will they, won't they? Like oh my god. No, it was really cute.
Yeah, that's the episode where like I think people, a lot of people talk about that episode on how that might be the moment where she realized that she could have potentially have been in love with Himmel because she like that's when Fern got the bracelet that like symbolized eternal love, and then she was like, "That's my ring."
She loses the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like thinking about whenever like Himmel put it on her finger, and yeah, it's like kind of like shows like how important it is to her. It's very like that's the little romantic part of it.
Yeah, it is. Let me ask you something. I thought about this a little bit. What do you think of the last line?
What's the last line?
Of they're like they see the guys are crossing the bridge and they're like, we spent so much time with them, but your goodbyes are so short. And then it flashes to Himmel with the same scenario, and they're like, you're a really sappy guy. You spent the past 2 weeks with these guys, caring for them and making sure they're safe, and then you hardly say anything when we leave. And he was like, what's he say? He says, I don't want to be embarrassed the next time we meet. He's like, I keep it short so that it's not embarrassing the next time we meet. And I was just like, I don't know. Like for everything that he is, it almost seems like against his character. But I guess if he's like trying to be like the greatest hero that ever, it's the name of the episode. Hold on, let me look up the name of the episode. It's something called like.
Yeah, because I know that's like an important moment, because whenever they're saying goodbye to the other priest, like they just kind of leave, and like Fern and Stark are like, that was quick.
Yeah,
but I don't remember the line.
It's oh god, of course it's in Japanese. God damn it, got a name, which means something in English.
Mata is like next time. Hazukashi, I think, is lonely, or is it lonely? I think, or sad. It might be sad. Hazukashi, I think it might be sad.
Oh, it would be embarrassing when we met. Yeah, it would be embarrassing when we met again. That's the name of the episode. That's what he says. He's like, "Why do you do that?" It's like, "Because it'd be embarrassing when we met again."
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. Like, I get it, but it also seems like it's against his character to say something like that. but it also kind of goes with his character, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did the same thing with Frieren, where they just let Frieren go, like after traveling for 10 years. And I think is like whenever he saw Frieren again, like he just like allowed her to come back in completely naturally,
Yeah.
So I think he's just like letting people go off on their own adventures and, not crying about it and living his life and hoping that everyone's like happy. And then when you see each other, you can just like continue on,
Yeah. Do you think that was before? Because a lot of the flashbacks, you don't really have a context into when in the journey it was. Like you don't know how soon or how close to the end of the journey it was.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was before he fell in love with her?
Whenever they said goodbye to her?
No. Whenever he says that in the last episode, like, do you think that was a mindset that he has because he knows that Frieren is going to leave? You know what I mean? Like he knows that like once their journey's done, she's not going to stay.
I don't know. I think most of the flashbacks we got were before they defeated the Demon Lord. I think it was like because they were like their journey.
Yeah, they're on their way to there.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's where like a lot of those memories come because it's like where they did the most adventuring and exploring.
But when do you think he falls in love with her? Or do you think he was always in love with her?
I think he was crushing on her from the beginning. Yeah. Because remember, it showed the clip of how he wanted to become a hero.
Yeah, I mean, if I was like a 10-year-old boy and an elf mage came and made a bunch of flowers for me when I was alone in the forest, I'd probably love her for the rest of my life too. But
what do you think about that actually? The fact that like she is his reason for being who he is, and now she's becoming the person she is because of him.
Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful. It's that Ouroboros, you know. It's I mean, I also like that. I forget her name. Cerise, was that her name? The other elf, the head elf mage.
Oh yeah, I don't remember her name.
I love like the start because they're very similar. Like they're literally just one's got golden hair, one's got white hair. Like they're very similar.
I think she was also Frieren's elder. If I remember correctly.
Yeah. But they're like so different.
Yeah.
At the same time. But it also like, are they? Or is it just like,
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why she wouldn't pass Frieren.
Yeah. I think that she can't admit. She said something in the when what's his name, the one human mage comes to fight her in the last episode. He's like, I'm gonna make a name for myself in the annals of history. I'm gonna be the one to kill Frieren.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is absurd. Like, this isn't worth it, and it's a waste of time. You're both children.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it is like, it's like that. The Cerise or whatever her name is, I can't remember her damn name. That's literally why she won't pass her. It's because she's just like, argh! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just she can't get over the fact that Frieren won't do what she wants her to do. Mm-hmm. Like she won't be who she wants her to be.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, she just wants to like learn magic spells. That's all she cares about.
Frieren said it as well, but I think the cleric or the Imperial commander mage, the older guy, he said it first when they were fighting in the first test. He says, she's like, you're going to lose. Why would you fight me? And he goes, because in the end, it's the pursuit of magic that's the most fun part.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh God, yes. And then they
made you love that old guy,
dude. I don't know, and I was worried that he was going to be a hard ass the whole time, and that he wasn't going to be very relatable as a character. But he was, dude. He was so good.
What do you think about that scene where like they like lost their bird, they're like out of magic,
and he
like,
just goes to
fisticuffs?
Yeah,
He's like,
Yeah,
"We lost
man.
it."
The only unreal part is that he leads with the uppercut, but you never lead with an uppercut. You set it up with a jab, then you come with an uppercut, or you set it up with a hook cross or something, then you come with the uppercut. But the pause frame at the end where the dude's coming over with the over the top left, and then he's just coming up underneath with that. But it's that's really good. I love that. What's his name? It's Richter. Is like the scene where like he's taking off his jacket. And they come across him. They're taking off his jacket, and Richter just kind of like walks behind him, like a fucking wolf. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the imagery was so good. It was like a bunch of wolves finding their prey.
Yeah.
It was rad. Yeah, it was good, man. I love me a good like tournament arc.
Yeah, I'm excited for season 2.
Had they announced when it's going to come out?
I don't think so. Just announced that it's being worked on.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it was so good, man. And the only thing my only gripe, I have 2 gripes. I have 2.
Okay. Let's hear.
The first one is the first intro song.
Okay.
What the hell were they thinking?
I like the intro song.
The first one?
Yeah.
The techno shit?
Yeah. It's a good song.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not. It's literally a technically bad song. Like there's no. It's not musically. It's not musical for that.
I think
like
you're
you
gonna get
can
some backlash for that.
let it run, baby. Because when that second song came in midway through the first season, I was like, "This is how you drop a fucking episode. This is it." Like this, and it's not just like whether a song's a good song or not. It's like, does it fit the show? And I think that the optimism that the second song has fits the show. Like it fits it fits that air of like optimism that you see growing in Frieren.
Yeah.
Like it fits that. Where the first one is like, what the fuck is this? Like what kind of auto-tune techno shit is going on? Like it didn't jive. Like you had these and the opening credits are beautiful. Like they're so good. And then for me, it was just like this huge disconnect. The last song, the ending is, chef's
Yeah,
kiss.
I think it's the same for both seasons, both arcs.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
That's so good.
Oh God, it's good. Oh man, it's so good. And then like they changed that in the second half where it's the second verse. Yeah. And it's like you're expecting it to come in the first time you hear it, and it's just the acoustic part of it, and you're like, and then it drops with the full band, like the next 2 bars or whatever it is. You're like, yes, God, it's good.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really, really good. So
I'm waiting for you to come back home.
Yeah, so good.
So good.
So that was my one gripe, but they rectify it, and it's fine. The other gripe is, why did they have like the lolly scene in the one episode where Frieren is like naked in their little cabin? Or
are you talking about when Fern pours the clothes dissolving potion on her?
It's the same scene, but it's before that, before she comes in there, where she's like walking around in a towel and then takes off the towel in the room.
I don't know.
Yeah, it just the whole scene sticks out like a sore thumb.
Oh,
I was just like, what the hell is happening? And then there was like another shot later on in the last 1 or 2 episodes.
You consider her a loli?
Yeah.
You don't think she's just petite?
She looks like, to me, she looks like a kid.
She's an old lady, man.
I know she's an old lady, but I'm in the camp of what was his name? Scar? Or what was his name? Not Scar. It's Goatee or like shit. What the hell is his name? Was it like Mean Goatee or something? His like name was something stupid.
What are you talking about?
The guy who was the healer that went with them for a while.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what we're missing in this party? And they were like, a cleric, something else. And he was like, a really hot older woman. And they were like, well, Frieren's right here. And he's just like, no, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I
a
love that
real older
episode.
woman. Yeah, like I'm in that camp where I'm like, I don't view her as an like, I don't know, I I don't know, I don't know.
So let's wrap up this free run talk. What do you think of the show overall?
You want a score
Yeah,
out of
give me a
10?
score. Yeah,
Ooh, I give it a 9.5. I give it a 9 I give it a 9.6.
I'll give it a 9. Actually,
A 9.
yeah.
Okay,
I mean that's a
that's high. That's huge.
yeah. I won't go. I don't think it. For me, it was really really good, really good. I loved it, but I
Hmm.
don't think it. I personally don't put it up there as like.
I tell you what, I'll come down half a point. Mm.
I
I'm
think
gonna stay at 9.5. I'm gonna stay at 9.5.
the score was fantastic. The animation was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
There were some moments throughout the series where I wanted it to go back to a certain story level type of storytelling. Like the tournament arc for me
Mm-hmm.
was interesting, but I kind of wanted more of an adventure. I
Yeah.
didn't really care for the tournament arc. So like for me, that kind of took away from the storytelling aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I know it's only season 1, and we'll get more of the story, which will kind of elongate this kind of journey and make those moments seem a little bit different. But for
Mm-hmm.
now, going off season 1, um, when you had big hitters like episode 12, I think episode 11 and 12 are the two big episodes, Stark's backstory and the proposal episode. You have all these moments. Remember, oh my God, dude. The scene where Frieren is asleep and they're traveling through the snow and she's on Fern's back and she's having a dream about going on the adventure with the old hero party.
Mm-hmm.
And then right before she wakes up, the last thing she sees with that like beautiful like chorus hum of that like woman humming that beautiful song, she's just seeing all their faces kind of like smiling. Oh. Ah, ah.
No,
Dude, it's
it's great.
it's whenever like every time they throw a flashback and she's like you're seeing her like remember her friends who are gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone and you're just like, oh my heart. It's so good.
Yeah.
I think it's phenomenal, but there were some moments with it throughout the story where I was just like, I want to go back to this, and I don't think that I can give it like a perfect score if I felt like that anytime throughout the series, you know.
Yeah, I understand. I didn't. I mean, I think the best parts of the series were those episodes
Mm-hmm.
where they're just adventuring.
Right,
It's like a day in the life of an adventuring mage,
right.
like as opposed to.
When they visit the old dwarf who's
Oh,
like
I was getting
got
ready to say that,
dementia.
dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. The scene where they're on the rock, like looking out over everything, and
Yeah,
he's like, I don't even remember her face.
yeah,
He's like, the truth is, I don't even remember her face. I
yeah.
forgot what she looked like
He's like, I'm
80
just doing
years
this out of a
ago.
promise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. I was like, God.
yeah,
And then but then he's like at the end, he's like, I had a dream last night and I saw her for the first time in a
yeah,
long time, and I have you to thank for that. And I was
yeah.
like,
I know, dude. Whenever like whenever they visit and he like pretends to be senile, and she's like, haha, you're playing senile, you know. And then
yeah.
they're on that hill, and he's like, oh, that means you're about to go on the hero
Oh
journey. And she's
God.
like, oh no,
Yeah, man. Ugh. See, those
yeah,
moments are like what make that show
yeah,
fantastic. I
yeah,
mean, I like again, the tournament arc stuff is rad, and I think
hmm
that it also shows like a level of like it wasn't just like here's some cool fights. It was like here's showing like Fern and Freeren's bond and how
hmm
they work together and the trust they have for one another, and
right,
also how Fern has come so far in her magical journey under the guidance of Frieren,
right,
and how Frieren has come as not as a student but as a teacher for the first time, because
right,
she doesn't take students. This is the first time she's doing it, you
hmm
know. It did that. So for me, like the tournament arc stuff like worked.
yeah,
But I also agree. Like for me, like the best parts of the series are those day in the life of,
yeah,
you know.
dude. The fan art for this show has been depressing. There's like fan art of where like
Oh
an
wait,
old.
I haven't looked at any fan art yet, but
Mhm.
I just remembered I was going to ask you. in the outro, I think the ending of the second outro,
Mm-hmm.
it has Frieren by a grave.
Mm.
Is that Himmel's grave?
Could be. I mean, I wouldn't know. Could be.
It never really says.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a fan art of like Frieren with an old fern taking a nap on her lap,
Oh
like
God, no, no.
like they always do when they're traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus, I don't need to see that.
I know, it's heartbreaking.
That hurts. That hurts bad.
It's worse. It's worse than those Pokemon sad fan arts.
Oh
Those
yeah,
sad
yeah,
Pokemon fan arts.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you liked it, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
loved it. It was great. I'm sorry that I was so stubborn for so long and didn't
okay.
watch it out of
You
spite.
should always trust me.
Well, it's not you that I worry about. It's the.
Yeah, but I have the final say.
Well,
I should have the final say, and I say that it's worth the watch.
yeah, it was worth the watch. It was great. Moving on.
I've been listening to
Japanese podcast.
no, I've been listening to Skyrim music soundtrack
Oh, sick.
when I play video games.
Yeah.
Dude, nothing hits the way that soundtrack hits. Like,
The only thing that hits like that soundtrack for me is it's a totally different mindset, but it's like my summertime thing is when I play Black Flag. I usually play Black Flag sometime in the summer. The pirate shanties from that fucking that damn game are so damn good. But it's a totally different mindset.
Yeah, like Skyrim music just it like hits that nostalgia. It has such a distinct sound that that nostalgia hits that. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That I every time I'm playing like a medieval fantasy game, I've been playing a lot of like indie games lately. I just put on like Skyrim music and let it play.
Yeah.
It's so good. All the load screen music. Come on.
Yeah, man.
There's not another game that has load screen music as good as Skyrim's load screen
Hell
music.
no. You're like, all right, I don't mind this takes like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
This is all right.
Or just jamming out, like spinning the icons
Spinning the little
around.
models. Yeah. So I wanted to do a little funsy thing.
Okay.
I know you wanted to keep this one a little shorter.
Yeah, we can end it with this.
Okay. So I wanted to do a little questionnaire, a little rankings list with fall activities.
Okay.
Okay. So for you, we're going to go down the list and you can say which one you like better, and then you can replace when the next one comes in.
Okay.
Okay. Apple picking or hayride?
Well, I've never been apple picking. But
Well, it's a fun date. You should go.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good date.
So I guess I would say hayride just because the scent of like hay is very nostalgic.
Are you hypoallergenic to hay or hyperallergenic to hay?
I don't think it bothers me.
Okay, then you're good.
It smells a little dusty, but
yeah, but it's good.
Yeah.
When we were kids, we used to up until I was like a teenager. A family friend of ours used to do. They were an older couple. They used to do a thing. It wasn't just family. It was like half the freaking town would come. It was massive. They had a bunch of land, and they would do a big bonfire. And it was like they had a tractor, and they would pull a hayride, and they pull it around, and the whole night everyone's just roasting hot dogs and s'mores, and then you would take a hayride around, and they would have like air quotes like zombies, like people like living dead, like walking, but they weren't aggressive or anything. They would just like walk off in the field and stuff, and it was spooky. And then like he'd come around and he'd come have some more hot dogs, and it was just really, really sweet. That's what I think of whenever I think of hayrides all the
for
time.
sure. Yeah.
So hayrides. Okay. Hayrides or an autumn hike?
Autumn hike for sure.
Oh, okay. The
Yeah.
first unseating. All right.
Yeah,
Alone or with someone?
no, with a group for sure.
Okay.
Like going to the Appalachian or
Oh,
something.
okay.
Like
Yeah, like a
that's
doing
nice.
like a through trail, or you just like going on finding like a nice little Sunday trail and just like going for a little
Yeah,
hike.
anything, man. Like hiking when you got that like has a smell,
Yeah.
that like crisp air smell. Oof,
Yeah, a little
love it.
early in the morning, you can like
Mm-hmm.
see like the dew still like heating up
Mm-hmm.
off the mountain. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay. So hiking or a corn maze?
Hiking.
Hiking. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't been to a corn maze since I was like a teenager.
I've never done a maze, but if I don't imagine myself enjoying, I'd be like Kevin from The Office. It's like, help,
Help
help.
me, please. Uh,
Oh no.
less words, better. Um, all right. Hiking or pumpkin picking?
I still say hiking. I mean, there's like being out in the woods, like when it feels that good outside. Like I
Mhm.
love that. Like
Okay. There's
yeah,
no wrong answer. I'm just curious about your
yeah,
answers.
yeah.
This tells me who
No,
you are as a person.
I never was really into carving pumpkins, or especially like when you open them, it's all messy. Like, you think I'm gonna put my hands in there? No, I'm not.
I like making a mess of it. I like
No,
putting my hands
and
in
then I don't
there.
want to draw the face on them because that's dumb.
No, you draw it and then you cut it out.
Yeah, but you have to. It's either scoop out all the guts, which is gross, and then carve it, or draw the face on it, which
Oh,
looks
you don't
dumb.
draw the face on it. You
Some
carve
people
it.
do. Some people
That's
do.
lame. That's lame. All right. Well, then I guess that takes out the next one, pumpkin carving. You're
Yeah,
gonna
no.
stay with hiking. Okay.
Yeah.
Hiking or a fall festival?
Ooh, fall festival.
Ooh, yeah, I love me a
Yeah.
fall festival, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I have like some memories like of a kid that are like legit some of my favorite memories of like one. It was a fall festival for like elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember like being super hyped because my mom put two cakes and I was like in like the cake, what do you call it, not cake off, what's it called, cakewalk, in the cakewalk, and I was like, it was two red velvet red velvet cakes, and
Mm-hmm.
my mom's red velvet cakes were like always my favorite cakes in the fucking world,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I can get two of them. And so I was like hell bent and determined to win those cakes in a cakewalk. I didn't win either one of them.
Yeah.
But I remember that. And then also I was like, I can win those cakes. And then when we get home that night, do you remember the Disney Channel original movie Scream Team?
Mm-mm.
It's a Disney Channel original movie. It was where I first saw Kat Dennings and I fell in love with Kat Dennings. But it was that movie was premiering on Disney Channel that Saturday that we had our school fall festival. So I was like super hyped to go to that and then come home and watch Scream Team.
Yeah.
But what about fall festivals for you? Like, what do you love about them?
Just the atmosphere. Like, are we talking like Ren Fair type of festival, or is that, or
I
just like a
was I was thinking more.
carnival type of
You know
festival?
what? We can put Rim Fair. I was gonna put Rim Fair in its own category, but we can put Rim Fair in fall festival.
Well, regardless, I think it's more of just like, if I'm gonna take it out of the category because you said
Okay.
festival, we should keep it a festival.
Yeah,
Ren Fair is its own thing.
I think it's its own thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if it's like a hike, which has its own atmosphere, you're in like nature where everything's cooling down, leaves are changing, the scenery is really pretty,
Mhm.
lighting's different, and then they got the fall festival, which I don't know. Do you go to fall festival at night? I like to go at night.
Oh, I haven't been to a fall festival.
It gets colder, but
I don't
and
know
you
that
can
I've ever
like
been to a fall festival at night.
kind of see your breath, but there's like, this is nice and
Yeah,
cozy.
yeah,
Get hot drinks and
yeah.
hot snacks.
That sounds nice.
Eat lots of meat. Eat
Oh,
lots of food.
yeah, I don't know about that anymore, but
Yeah.
yeah, it does sound nice. Okay, so fall festival. That's what we're going with. All right, fall festival or farmers market. Okay,
No.
fall festival. It is easy one. This is gonna be a toughie. Fall festival or pumpkin spice latte?
Fall festival.
Oh wow.
Pumpkin
Okay.
spice latte?
You shocked the shit. I thought you were for sure gonna go pumpkins. Piece.
No.
I
I
thought
don't
you were
do.
for sure gonna go
I tell you
PSL.
what. You want to talk about pumpkin? This
Oh
is
my God.
this is a story I should not tell
Tell
to
it.
the public, but I'm going to tell it anyways because
Do it.
it's part of my history.
Do it.
When I was a kid, like little kid, like little, like 6, I was sorry. I was a little I was a trailer park kid, okay? I was
Uh-huh.
wild.
Yeah.
I was wild. And my mom every fall would make pumpkin pie.
Okay.
And I hated pumpkin pie. I didn't like it.
Okay.
So I never ate it. I never
Okay.
touched it. And one time, my cousin and I, these little nasty trailer park rats walking around, walked behind my house and my dumpster was open and there was a pumpkin pie just sitting on top of the trash. And we were like, oh shit, this is a whole pie. And me and him sat there and ate the whole
It
pumpkin
ate the
pie
pie?
out of the trash.
What the shit? That's the most George Costanza thing I've ever heard in my life.
It was very trailer trash. Like,
That's awesome. But you didn't even like it. Why did you eat it?
because it was free. It was sitting out on the. There was like,
Oh my
I was a little
God.
troublemaker. It was like, it felt like I was stealing some food.
You're a walking contradiction, I swear.
We ate the
That's
whole
so
thing, dude. It was a whole pie. We ate the
It was
whole
a
thing.
whole ass pie.
Yeah. I
It
guess
was on
she.
the top. It was on the top.
Yeah, it was just sitting on the top.
It was sitting on the. See, it was sitting on the top of the trash. Oh my God. You are George Costanza incarnate. Okay, where did we leave off? We left off at
Pumpkin
Fall
spice.
Festival.
Yeah.
Fall Festival or haunted houses?
Never been to a haunted house.
Never.
Mm-mm.
I don't enjoy them, but I haven't been in since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But
Well, I've never been into like horror movies or anything.
Yeah.
Haunted house just kind of seems like
that
on the same
steroids.
spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
I've gotten.
I want
banned
to have
from
fun. I don't want
2.
to have terror.
Yeah, I got banned from 2 from
Throwing punches.
yeah, with one was a kick and the other was like a shove type thing because it was just reflex. Like
Yeah.
you know how I am with like my fight or flight, and
Mhm.
it's like if someone is in that like 3-foot vicinity, like
Yeah.
I can't help it. It's just what happens. But and their whole thing is like, don't touch us. We won't touch you. But like they get so close, dude.
Yeah.
They get so close. And one of them was, I think it was in Woods of Terror or something like that. They're both in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I was a teenager and like it was on this ride. It wasn't even the real thing. Like that. That's what was like. It was cold as shit that night too, and like I went with a bunch of friends, and it was like the little trailer, like the hayride trailer thing that takes you to where the actual horror house is.
Mm-hmm.
And like the things come out and like jump at you as you're on the trailer. And I was like me and like 3 friends were on the back, and they came out and like were right there, and I just kicked them. I mean, I just bow, and they were like, "You're out of here. You're gone. You're gone." And I was like, ah, you know. And then the other one was in an actual haunted house, and it was like this clown dude, and he was so close to me, man. Like he came, yeah. That's so I was like, all right, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like them. I don't like being scared.
Yeah, I'm not really into the like vibe of like wanting to scare people either. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like TikToks and stuff where like parents are scaring their kids or people are scaring people. Like, it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
Except for that one lady who makes that really weird face when her husband like pops out around the corner.
Yeah, but just saying
funny.
Like just going like rah outside of a corner is one thing, but like putting on like a horrifying mask and then shoving it into your child's face, that's a different thing.
Oh fuck! What? Yeah. No, that's like arguably abuse. Fuck that.
I would say so too.
Okay, so we're still on Fall Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Fall Festival or tailgating? Like for a football game.
Oh, Fall Festival. I'm not going to go to no football game.
Yeah, me neither. Same. Well, I already know you're interested. The Fall Festival or apple cider? Like warm apple cider?
No.
Okay.
I'm a hot coffee guy. Hot coffee or hot chocolate?
Okay. All right. Fall Festival or cozy fireplace?
So we're indoors now?
Yeah, we're indoors now. but it's like you go to let the dog out. Like, let me paint the scene. You go to let the dog out, right?
Uh-huh.
And you open the door, and you've been nice and warm. The heat's been kicked on, but you open up the door, and that cool, that like sharp, cool, like sharp wind. You know what I mean? Comes in from the night air. And you're like, "Ooh, God!" And you're waiting for the dog to do his business. And you get back in, you're like, you're freezing. And then you get back in, and that fire starting to go. You're hearing that crackle.
Yeah, I've never experienced that.
Never had an indoor fireplace?
Come on, cuz. No.
I mean, well, we had. Did we not have a fireplace
Where?
at the house over in EAV? No, we didn't.
No.
We didn't have a fireplace at the other house, the shitty house.
No. I've never lived anywhere with a fireplace. Actually, that's not true. I did live in one apartment a long time ago with a fireplace, but we never touched it.
Oh,
Yeah. I didn't grow up with that, so
yeah.
I'm sure it's nice. But
It,
a fall festival is like you're going with your friends. You're meeting, like in my past, it was like in high school. Like you're seeing people that you haven't seen over, like it's fall break, so it's been a few days since you've seen your friends.
Yeah. So sticking with the fall festival.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fall festival or campfire?
I went to a campfire the other night actually, and it was so smoky. My eyes were like leaking like waterfalls.
Smoke follows beauty.
And I went home.
Must have been the best looking one there.
My clothes smelled like smoke, and yeah, I wasn't about it. I can stand close to a fire, especially if it's like dying down, so like it's not very smoky.
Not even if s'mores are involved.
They did s'mores. I didn't do s'mores.
I fuck up s'mores. I fuck them up. Like nice, like burnt on the outside, just molten mellow on the inside. Oh,
I will say I like campfires in the morning. I think morning campfires where you like put your cast iron on the fire, make some eggs and some bacon.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Some percolating coffee. Yeah.
But I mix that with camping. If it's just a campfire, probably won't enjoy it as much. But if it's like part of a camping experience, then it's the way to go. But I'm going to stick with festival.
It was okay. So, all right. So camping.
I would say
fall camping.
Yeah.
Fall camping over fall festival.
For sure. I love fall camping, man. Love it.
Waking up, like it's cold enough you can like snug up in the same sleeping bag, you know. You may even bring the dog in there and let the dog snug up, get a little extra warmth, you know. And then you wake up and you still see your breath, like you know, like you can see like the sun coming through the rays of the trees. It's like the steam's coming up.
Yeah. Well, you know, I grew up in Boy Scouts, so lots of camping, especially in the fall. Like lots of our camping trips were in the fall. So you're waking up, everyone's like, you know, all the adults are making breakfast for everyone, and like you're out there playing, you know.
You didn't make breakfast as a Boy Scout? You didn't get a breakfast badge?
No. No.
Okay. Well, all right. So we're doing fall camping.
Yeah.
Right now is number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Fall camping or building a scarecrow?
That's a weird one. Fall camping.
Not if you live on a farm. Or if you just like building scarecrows.
Yeah. No, I've never done that.
Okay. All right. Well, we're staying with that then. Fall camping or making your Halloween costume?
Fall camping.
Fall camping.
Yeah.
Okay. Fall camping or fall picnics?
Camping. Because you eat at camping. You eat when you're camping.
Yeah.
It's like a picnic.
But with the picnic, like you don't have like the obligation, you know, of like having to do all of
I like the obligation.
Okay, but you like it. Okay, it's part of the scenario
immersive.
For you.
It's immersive.
Okay, yeah. You're on your journey. You're doing your quests. Okay, all right. I like it. All right. Fall camping or driving in the mountains?
I bet I do love a nice fall drive, but I'm gonna go for the comfort and like getaway like release that you get from fall camping.
Okay. We actually went driving today.
Nice.
And we went up to Blood Mountain, and it was It was really, really nice. I'm not gonna lie. I love taking like a fall drive in the
Yeah.
mountains.
Yeah.
Seeing all the trees. It's
Mhm.
like it's nice. Like even like the air's cooler
Yeah.
faster up there,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
than it is here. So like your turbo will pick up on that cool air and it gets
Mhm.
oh, sucks in that air, that cold air, so good. You can feel a little bit more pep in it.
Mm.
It's fun. It's so good, and it's just beautiful. Like
Mhm.
it. And today was a weird one too because it was like cloudy,
Yeah.
and in the past when we went, I don't think I've ever been up there when it's that cloudy. And it Shelby said that she thinks that the yellows pop more
Mm.
in the clouds than it does with full sun.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're staying with camping, fall
Yeah.
camping.
Yeah.
Okay. Fall camping or playing in leaves.
Yuck.
Yuck, leaf piles. Yuck for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Not even as a
Bugs?
kid.
You're talking about bugs?
It's a pile of leaves, Lance.
No,
You never
that's how you
body
get.
slammed
That's how you
Zach
get.
into a pile of leaves.
That's how you get bacteria and.
You never body slammed Zach into a pile of leaves.
So
Or like
growing up,
you never swanton bombed off the top like of a 4-step ladder into some leaves,
no.
dude. I'm surprised I'm gonna knock on wood that I never broke a bone as a kid because we were so trashy. We believed wrestling was real for a long time, and we would just like whenever it was fall, that's all we did, dude. Like at school, we would go get rakes and we would rake up leaves and shit in the school playground.
Mhm.
And we had this tire, like it was this big tractor tire that like maybe half of it or 3/4 of it was sticking up above ground and the other half of it was like buried, in the ground. So it
Mhm.
just stood straight up. And we would jump off of that thing like and like body slam each other into
Wow.
piles of leaves. Dude, it was wild. I love a good leaf pile, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
I was afraid to get in there, man. I was like, I don't know what's in there.
I was afraid to get in there, man. I mean, knowing you now, that totally tracks. Yeah, it totally makes sense. That's funny. Okay, all right. So, all right, and the last one I have on here
Mhm.
is fall camping or staying in after you've got your candy,
Mhm.
right? After a good night of Halloween, trick or treating, and watching a Disney Channel original movie.
Well, if we're going off of nostalgia, because now can't go trick or treating anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
we had one.
really?
This year. Yeah,
Wow.
it was really sad.
Yeah.
I gave him a lot of Pokemon cards.
That's awesome. That's awesome. If I went there and someone gave me Pokemon cards, I'd lose it.
Dude, they were sweet. They were like it was candy and like we had the rim of it with Pokemon cards of the packs,
yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, thanks," and they took like one piece of candy each, and I was like, "You can have Pokemon card too if you want." And they were like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." So they took a pack, and I looked at them. I looked back at Shelby, and I looked back at them. I was like, "You can take a little bit more if you want to." And they were like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And so they took like another pack, and I was like, "You can take a little bit more if you want to." I was like, "You can take them all if you want to." And he was like, "Seriously?" I was like, "Yeah, you guys are the only ones we've had all night." This was like at 8,
Yeah.
8:30.
Dang.
And so they took all the Pokemon cards and
That's
they
awesome.
had a good night. Yeah.
That's cool.
But what's the deal? Nostalgia plays a part of it. That's the whole thing.
Well, the thing is, you got like a lot of these. I feel like come from growing up with a little bit more money than what I grew up with. So I didn't experience a lot of these, and definitely
Trick or
didn't have
treating was
Disney.
free.
Yeah, but didn't have Disney Channel.
You had friends though.
Did
I
I?
didn't have Disney Channel until I only had Disney Channel for like a year.
Yeah. Well, we didn't. I mean, I moved a lot growing up, so
Oh, that's right.
friends that I like, there weren't that many
yeah.
friends that I would spend time with. It was mostly just me and my brother. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, I think personally, I like knowing right now, I would still want to go camping. Like,
Okay.
I really want to go camping. I really want to go camping. So,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, fall camping, that's the first thing that I brought up whenever this weather started to change. I was like, dude, it's time. It's time to go camping. Time to have an oyster roast.
Did you go camping?
Not yet.
You had oysters though, right?
Nope, not yet. Dude, I didn't expect.
I was just talking about oyster roast the other day with Shelby. I was like,
yeah,
that's a good one.
It's great. Send it over, and that's the time where I would want to be over a campfire.
Yeah,
Eat some oysters
because
the smoke helps.
raw,
Yeah.
like no hot sauce or anything, just raw.
No,
just.
I like them to get a little grilled. You know.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Put them on the rack or whatever and let them roast. But
in the brine.
But yeah, just straight brine, just down the gullet. Woof.
Yeah.
Woof. But hell yeah! All right. So final thoughts. The winter. Fall camping.
Fall camping is.
That's where it's at.
There's not really a better time to go camping than in the fall.
Oh, I absolutely.
And
agree.
I don't think there's a better time to be in nature than in the fall. You know.
Yeah.
Like, that's when nature's at its prime. Animals that are dangerous are starting to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Bugs are down.
Yeah.
Stink bomb.
Unless you step on them.
Oh yeah. But you got to know where to go. But yeah, bugs are down. It's cooler, so you're not sweating when you're hiking. Oh, it's perfect.
You're not sweating when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
That's the worst. It's like trying to camp in the summer and you like literally can't sleep because you're just pouring sweat.
Right.
Hashtag camping in Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the quiz. It was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Maybe we'll do another one at some point.
Yeah. All
right, guys. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. If you enjoyed the quiz and have your own thoughts on how you would rank your fall activities.
Or if there's something that you consider kind of like your key.
Your essential fall activity that wasn't on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
We're curious. We'd like to interact. Lance, where can we find you?
Right now it's a little tough. Okay. I just started a new career, so it's kind of hard to find me. I'm kind of like neck deep in work, but I'm going to try to stream. I'm going to try to stream soon.
Do a little streamage. Okay.
I'm trying. I've been getting kind of, what's it called? Acclimated to everything. So, but yeah, you can follow me on stream on Twitch and you'll know whenever I go live.
Born2BNerd?
Born2BNerd _live is the Twitch name. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then you can follow us on YouTube. That's where we're posting our podcast on Apple Music, right?
Yeah, you can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, all those main places.
You got a channel now.
I recently, shameless plug. I just recently started a channel called Throttle Fox Moto Photo. It's basically, if you're into motorcycles and you like photography, that's what it is. It's going to be a little moto vlog, not really a moto vlog, but kind of a moto vlog with, photography in there. Still photography specifically. So if you're into that kind of thing, hop on over to Throttle Fox Moto Photo. Check it out. Give us a like, maybe sub. That'd be rad.
Yeah.
And until next time, you guys have a good one.
Yeah, happy fall.
Happy fall, dude. Later, Tater.